British politics just got a whole lot more dramatic. Reports are swirling that King Charles III may have made a move that could deal a serious blow to Labour leader Keir Starmer's political future. While the monarchy traditionally stays out of direct political affairs, recent developments have left many wondering. Did the king just make a statement that could alter Starmer's path to power? And if so, what does this mean for the future of the Labour Party? To understand the significance of this, we have to look at the delicate relationship between the crown and government. The king's role is largely ceremonial, but history has shown that a single comment from the monarchy can send shockwaves through British politics. While Queen Elizabeth II was famously neutral, Charles has always been more outspoken, especially on issues like climate change and social reform. His views are well known, and although he is expected to remain politically impartial, his personal stance can sometimes be inferred from his words and actions. Now, the moment that has set the political world abuzz. During a recent engagement, King Charles made what seemed to be a carefully measured yet pointed remark about the need for seasoned leadership in uncertain times. While he didn't name anyone directly, many saw this as a veiled critique of Keir Starmer, who has never held a major government role despite leading the Labour Party since 2020. The interpretation? Starmer lacks the experience needed to lead the nation. The reaction was swift. Political analysts debated whether this was a deliberate statement or simply a general observation. But one thing is clear: the timing couldn't be worse for Starmer. With a general election looming, Labour is pushing the narrative that it is ready to take over from the Conservative government. If voters begin to see Starmer as unprepared or untested, it could weaken Labour's momentum at a critical moment. And the Conservatives wasted no time in capitalizing on this. Figures within the party have subtly reinforced the idea that experience is key, pointing to Prime Minister Rishi Sunak's time in government as evidence that stability should take precedence over change. If public perception shifts in their favor, Starmer could face an uphill battle convincing voters that Labour is the right choice. But the situation becomes even more intriguing when you consider the history between Starmer and the monarchy. While Starmer has publicly stated that he supports the institution, Labour has long been home to voices that question the role of the monarchy in modern Britain. Some within the party even advocate for a future without a royal family. Could this be a factor in why the king seems hesitant about a potential Starmer-led government? Of course, Starmer himself has not directly responded to the speculation. Instead, he continues to focus on Labour's policies, highlighting economic reforms, healthcare improvements, and climate initiatives. However, insiders suggest that behind closed doors, Labour strategists are assessing the impact of these royal remarks. If voters begin to perceive Starmer as lacking the full confidence of the monarchy, it could become an unexpected hurdle in Labour's path to power. On the other hand, there is also a counterargument. Some believe that this entire situation has been overblown, and that Charles was simply making a broad statement with no political intent. After all, the monarchy must remain neutral, and it would be highly unusual for a king to openly interfere with party politics. If Starmer plays this right, he could turn the narrative in his favor, positioning himself as the leader of change who isn't bound by the expectations of the establishment. So, what happens next? The reality is that British politics is unpredictable, and even subtle moments like this can influence voter sentiment in surprising ways. If the reports of King Charles distancing himself from Starmer gain traction, Labour may have to work even harder to assure the public of its readiness to govern. Meanwhile, the Conservatives will likely continue to use this narrative to their advantage, reinforcing the idea that stability and experience matter more than promises of reform. Ultimately, whether this was an intentional move by King Charles or simply a case of reading too much into a royal remark, the impact is undeniable. British voters are paying attention, and with an election on the horizon, every word and every perception matters. The big question now is, will Starmer overcome this challenge, or has his path to power just become a lot more complicated?